Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and in this video I just want to do a quick kind of show and tell of a EMF reader. This is called a tri-field meter. I don't know if you can get this model anymore. I got this probably 5 or 6 years ago before I ever started living in my truck, when I was living in my yurt, I think. And I gave this a few years ago to Jesse and Johanna, but they're letting me borrow it for a second to basically make this demonstration. It's a way to detect different types of EMF that are going on around you, and there's multiple different kinds. Okay, so we see this is the opposition, this is the battery test. So if it comes up here, we know that we've got a decent amount of battery. We switch to the next one. The next two are basically, we're detecting the magnetic field. So if I put this next to my phone, you can see the phone is putting off a magnetic field that's pretty strong, and most electronics are going to do that. This is in the 0 to 100 range. If you want to get more precise, you can go to the 0 to 3 range. You'll see it's much more reactive to my phone, much more quickly. Again, magnetic fields and EMFs in general will drop off very quickly. I think it's the cubed root, right? So the farther you, a emitter can be very, very strong, but if you even just get a few feet away from it, the effect on you is very insignificant, okay, compared to what it was if it was right up against you, right? So this is why actually your cell phone will say, if you read all the fine print, don't put it up against your head, even though that's what you do. People put it in their pocket and then they have it sitting there. Dave Asser was talking about how he actually got the bone density of his femurs measured, and the one where he kept his phone was had significantly less bone mass than the other one, okay, and that's just one of the ways that EMFs can affect you, specifically radio waves. So this is magnetic. Magnetic affects you in a specific way. Then there's electric. If we switch to this is basically testing dirty electricity, which we're not going to get any of here, because dirty electricity comes from alternating current, which is in your house, and my phone is running on direct current. Okay, so direct current is just the electricity is flowing in one way, and you're not creating any weird effect when you're doing that. When AC, it's basically going like this constantly. That's what's happening, and so that has other effects on the the electromagnetic field that we live in, and we call that dirty electricity, and that has a very, very strong effect on your health. Okay, a lot of people get very, very sick of being around dirty electricity, and those are just really sensitive people. I think everyone is affected by it. Okay, and the next one is the one that we're most interested in, which is radio, which is microwave. Okay, so this is when your phone is talking to the Wi-Fi router, or it's talking to your cell tower. Okay, so basically it's got 3 different readers here. Like this one's for specific stuff, right? The 0 to 100 magnetic and the electric. Then the second one down is the 0 to 3 magnetic, and this one down, this little row here, is the microwave. Now you can see this is 0, and then it goes all the way up to 1 and 0.5. This little space right here, keep this in mind, okay? This little space right here is the same as this amount of space all the way over to here, right? So this is 0 to 0.5, and then this is 0.5 to 1. So keep that in mind when I show you what this does when I put it up against a phone that's using Wi-Fi, next to a Wi-Fi router, and also up next to a phone, a phone that's using Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi router, and a phone that's uploading using a cell tower. Okay, so we've got a phone that's connected to a cell tower right now instead of the Wi-Fi, and it's uploading a video, and you can see it is just slammed up against the sidewall there. This is what it looks like on Wi-Fi when it's uploading, so you can see it's nowhere near as loud, though still pretty loud. And then we'll hop over and see what the actual Wi-Fi router is doing. Pretty bad, so definitely don't want to be sleeping with a Wi-Fi router next to you. Ideally, you turn this off before you go to bed. So pretty alarming, basically maxing out what a professional EMF reader is able to detect, and especially with the cell tower, for example, going well above, slamming up against that wall. Obviously, it could go a lot farther than that. And remember, when the bar is way up at that point, it's not a linear thing. When you get towards the end there, that little part is twice as much as that part, right? And then the bar is actually slamming up quite a bit past that. So you don't want these things up next close to your body. And we're in a society where everyone's been given the impression that it's safe to do that just by the fact that everyone around them is doing that. But the people who make these things, they know it's not safe. A lot of them even put it in the actual documentation of when you buy the phone, though most people don't read that. Okay, so it's not like it's necessarily their fault that humanity is being super stupid and making it a normal thing to be carrying something horrible in your pocket basically almost all the time. You know, people have it in their pocket all day long. Some of them have it next to their head, you know, not in airplane mode while they're sleeping. Okay, so what I do, basically, I don't use cell towers, but if I was using, if I did have a SIM in my phone, I would just be running in airplane mode all the time. Anytime that the phone's in my pocket, it would be running in airplane mode. The only time it would be connected is when I'm using it. Ideally, I don't even have it in my hand because, of course, you know, it affects your blood and it's right up. Your blood is going through here, so it's going to affect you. Ideally, you have your phone on a tripod and it's a couple feet away from you. Another thing you can do, you can get, I have I forget what it's called. I think it's from the Defender Shield, something like that. It's basically a carrying case that hangs over your shoulder here in a little pouch. You can put the phone in. It's lined with silver cloth on one side. So you can put it in the front pocket and the EMFs, the microwaves, are going to hit that cloth and not come through into your body, but it'll be not covered by cloth on the outer side, and so it will still be able to get signal. And then there's an inner pocket where you can put it in there and it's going to be completely Faraday caged and not be able to send out any signal at all. So that's another thing that I recommend. And I don't think I've done a video on that piece of equipment, so I'll probably be doing a video on that pretty soon. I've had that thing for a number of years. In fact, I think I'm going to go grab that and we're going to do a quick test to see if it actually works. Okay, so I'm uploading a video over the Wi-Fi, and I'm quite a bit away from the router at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit louder. This is that pouch I was talking about. You put it in this pouch, and it's only going to come outward, but if you put it in this back pouch, then it's not going to go anywhere. So let's see if this fixes the problem. See? So definitely, this is awesome. Definitely get one of these if you'd like to protect yourself from EMF. Okay, so I want to also show you, while we're here, the dirty electricity. So dirty electricity is also really common when you're converting from DC. So we have my bike here. It's plugged into my bike. This basically allows me to, you know, use normal plugs, power anything off of my bike. So we're going to check out the dirty electricity. You can see this thing is basically maxing out dirty electricity just by being next to it. And all it's really doing is charging this laptop here. By the way, someone asked what laptop I have. It's that one. Can you read that? It's hard to read. There you go. So be careful of inverters. Definitely don't be sleeping next to one, anywhere near it. So I'll also show you magnetic mode, right? You see this thing also gives off a magnetic field. That's the sensitive mode. It's a little less sensitive, but it's still kind of going pretty high up there. Now even the phone itself, here I'll move the camera. So even the phone itself is going to be giving off a magnetic field, right? And the magnetic field has to do with various other types of things. For example, if we were to play some music, let me do that. See, now we're playing music. The speakers are the thing that is creating the magnetic field there. So even speakers are a problem. All right, I think you get the point. So if you want one of these things, the company who makes this is called Defender Shield. They have a lot of other good equipment, which is worth getting, that kind of does similar stuff. This specifically is called the Conceal Shield. I've had this thing for probably 2 to 3 years, and I love it. It's great, and now I know that it actually works really well. I don't think I tested it like that. This thing, this specific model, this is called a Tri-Field meter. I think Tri-Field is the name of the company. But you're looking for an EMF reader of some kind, and they're going to be around between $150 to $200. You know, this one especially. Well, you can't get this one anymore. So even on their website, they say this one is discontinued, but they have kind of more up-to-date models. So anyways, I'll just link you to this one on their website, and you can check out what else they do actually have available. So hope that's helpful, and I'll see you guys later.